We are driving on Highway 279 north towards Cross Plains. We are about 1 mile away from the city limits. You can see some of the surrounding countryside, the oak trees, mesquite bushes, open fields used for farming and ranching. One of the purposes of this video is to help show you the economic conditions in Cross Plains so you will understand why saving the Howard House will require help from Howard fans. We will be coming up on the welcome sign to Cross Plains on the right here. And there it is, right there on the right, as we just passed it. We are now approaching the major intersection in Cross Plains of Highway 279 and Highway 36. If you turn right on Highway 36, Cross Plains only extends for a few hundred yards to the right, going to the east towards Rising Star. If you turn left, you'll be going towards Abilene, and you will pass the Howard House on your left. As I said, this is the major intersection in Cross Plains, and it's the only one with a stoplight, a four-way blinking red light. We will continue on Highway 279, which becomes Main Street in Cross Plains, and you will see what downtown Cross Plains looks like. The building on the left that is red with the peaked roof is the Ice House. This is the place that Bob Howard would go for his boxing matches and pickup fights with other people. As we enter the downtown of Cross Plains, you will see that there are not too many large businesses to provide a good economic base for Cross Plains to use. There's going to be a two-story building on the left that was a bank building. It's now a restaurant. The building directly opposite on the left also used to be a two-story bank building. It's still a bank building. At the end of this second section of buildings is the Cross Plains Public Library. In the second stories of both of the bank buildings, there were offices that both Bob Howard and his father, Dr. Howard, either worked at or had offices at. We will be taking a detour upcoming to go by the house where Novelyn Price Ellis stayed when she was teaching at Cross Plains High School. For those of you who have read her book, One Who Walked Alone, or had seen the movie The Whole Wide World, this is the place where Bob Howard would come to pick her up when they would go out on dates. It is a one-story yellow brick building, and Novelyn's room was the last room on the right. So as we pass by, the furthest window on the right is for the room that she stayed in. That is the house directly ahead of us that she stayed in. And directly ahead of us now, you can see the buildings for the school complex for Cross Plains. All three of their schools, the elementary school, middle school, and high school, are in this spot. This was also the spot where the original school was that, or I should not say original, but the second school that Cross Plains built that Novelyn Price worked at was. None of that building survives. It was torn down decades ago when they built this new complex of buildings for their school. We're turning right on Highway 279 again, heading north, so that you can see the extent of Cross Plains on a north-south axis. And you can see the school complex now on our right as we start to pass it. We will be turning at the last major building in Cross Plains, actually pretty much the last building of Cross Plains, which is the Methodist Church, which is where the panels for the Howard Days are held at. And there's the Methodist Church on our right as we're coming up. As I said, this is the last major building of Cross Plains. It's pretty much open fields now to Cisco from here on out. We're heading back south on Highway 279 towards downtown Cross Plains again. We will be making a right turn on Highway 36 heading towards Abilene so that we can go by the Howard House, and you can also see the extent of Cross Plains on an east-west axis. Again, you can see that most of the buildings that are on Highway 279 or Main Street of Cross Plains are either private homes, churches, or small businesses. So again, you can see there's not that much of an economic base here for the city to be able to help out in the restoration and repair of the Howard House. As we enter the downtown area of Cross Plains again, we will be passing by 2 murals. One is to Dr. Pepper right there. The second one is to Robert E. Howard and depicts his character Conan. That's also where the public library for Cross Plains is, right there on our right. We will once again pass by the Ice House building where Bob Howard did his boxing. We will be coming up to the intersection of Highway 279 and Highway 36. Highway 36 has a lot of truck traffic on it, as you can see directly ahead of us. If you've seen any of the videos that other book YouTubers have done of this year's Howard Days, on some of those videos you heard truck traffic going by, or you saw the video that we did on what was wrong with the Howard House, you could hear the truck traffic on some of the narration or the interviewing of some of the people on that. As we travel down Highway 36 towards the Howard House, which will be on our left, we are going to pass Woody's Museum, which houses a great collection of classic cars and baseball memorabilia. If you have any interest in any of those, please come see Woody's Museum when you're in Cross Plains. On the left, you will see an open field. That was where the only motel in town, Highway 36, used to be. You can talk to some of the Howard Days old-timers about what it was like staying in that flea bag of a motel. We're now passing the Howard House on our left right there, and we are going to approach the limits of Cross Plains to the west fairly quickly. As you can see, Cross Plains is a small town. It has less than 1,000 inhabitants in it. I believe Arlene Stevenson told me when I interviewed her that it has over 960 people right now. Now we've turned back heading east towards the Howard House. This will complete our quick tour showing you the 2 main streets in Cross Plains, and you can now see what the economic basis of the town is, so you can now understand why there is a great need for Howard fans to help contribute to save the Howard House. I'm here today with Arlene Peterson and Diane
Miller.
Okay, it's Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Sound like you said Peterson.
I might have, because I knew an Arlene Peterson in Marlin, Texas.
I don't know how important it is or not, but anyway. My ego says Stevenson.
Stevenson, all right. These 2 women are with Project Pride of Cross Plains, and they're here to discuss the Robert E. Howard House, Project Pride, and Cross Plains, and the effect of the Robert E. Howard House on Cross Plains. Arlene, you're the president of Project Pride. Can you give us a history of how Project Pride came to be?
Well, it started back in '88. There's a couple ladies here in town kind of discouraged about the way Cross Plains was just going downhill. Main Street was kind of trashy looking. They were very concerned that we might go the route of a lot of small towns. So they got determined that something was going to happen. They visited a few other small towns around, came back with some ideas, called a meeting one night down here at what now Mexico City. Of all
Mexico City is?
It was
the cafe?
Yeah, it was a cafe. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Mexico City Cafe.
Because otherwise people may say, y'all moved to
Mexico City Cafe. And they called all the movers and shakers in town. All they showed up, the business owners, bankers, the like. And from there, the idea spread and like, yes, let's do something. Within about 2 months, we had Project Pride going.
And what is the aim of Project Pride? What does it want to do?
Our initial aim was to get Cross Plains to take more pride in their community, to make it more encouraging for people to visit and to maybe relocate here, and at the same time to retain our history. So we had this mission statement in mind before the house even came on the market, which is interesting because it just It was exactly what we were looking for.
And Arlene, were you here at that time?
Yes. Tom was president or manager of Higginbotham's.
And who is Tom?
Tom was my husband.
All right.
He was the manager of Higginbotham's Hardware down here. So that made him a mover. And I guess I must have been the shaker. I don't know. But anyway, that's how we came to be at that first meeting. It was because of Tom's position, kind of.
And what was the feeling of Cross Plains towards Robert E. Howard and the Howard House before y'all bought it?
I'd say nobody knew anything about it. There were a few people who had been in the house when the Howards lived here. A few ladies who had been in to kind of take care of Mrs. Howard. But these ladies were pretty old by then, and you know, it was just something they did when they were younger. It was no big deal. They had not followed Robert Howard's accomplishments. They had no idea what that guy that was in that house had become. So all they knew was, yeah, we've been in that house with those Howards, lived a long time ago. Yeah, we'll come and share what we know.
And why did Project Pride decide to buy the house when it went on the market?
Well, Rusty Burke had come out in '86 before Project Pride was even thought about. He knew all about Robert Howard, knew where the house was, everything. And he had come up on a Saturday, totally unannounced, stopped by the library, happened to find the door open. He goes in, hello, the house. At that point, Rusty looked like a 7-foot hippie. He goes in, happened to find a lady in there who's president of the Friends of the Library. He told her who he was, what he was about, and he said, if I were to get a group to come out here, could you put together a banquet, a meeting, or something for us? He said, sure. They did. Rusty and Bill, 2 guys from Australia, 1 from Switzerland. He got them all together, and they came out here in '88, '86. So yeah, okay, that house is out there. Well, okay, we know where it is. Then it came on the market, and our people thought, wow, if we can find a way to buy that and restore it to what it was when Robert Howard did his writing out there, that would be the key that'll bring the world to our doorstep. We were not even a 501c3 at that time. We were so young. Didn't have a bank account. We kind of went with the library and kind of bought it kind of under their number till we could get established on our own. But hey, as soon as word got out, Rusty goes into action with pen and pencil because email had not been invented yet. They sent out hundreds of letters, hired people all over the world. Here came money, here came resources, here came ideas. The rest is history.
Y'all bought the house, and there are pictures here in the house of what it looked like at the time y'all bought it, and you said about restoring it and opening it up as a museum. You don't keep regular museum hours here at the house, do you? Why not?
Well, because we really don't have all that much traffic, and we're just not equipped financially or anything else to have somebody out here, 6, 7 hours a day. And to find somebody in town that would want that kind of a commitment, it's just an impossibility.
Is Project Pride an all-volunteer organization?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Which makes it impossible for Project Pride to get grants. Because the first question, how many are employed? The second question, what are your hours of operation? So grants are out of the question for Project Pride as such.
All right. And that first visit by Rusty and the crew in 1986 was the first Howard Days. And Howard Days has been running ever since.
They They kind of started coming back after we actually got the house.
Okay.
So probably 89, they were kind of filtering around a little bit. But Howard Days, as we know it now, is probably maybe 30 some years old. Because
Okay.
it was a few years before we started getting anything really very consistent in a program per se. But the format that we have now with, the Friday stuff and the Friday auction, the Friday dinner, and all the tours, that's probably on about 30 years we've been doing that.
And Howard Days, these days, you have an unofficial opening on, it's always the second weekend in June.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And a lot of people going off that say, why do you do it in June instead of on his birthday in January?
Probably because trying to have it in January would be far too iffy weather-wise. And it's also kind of in the middle of the academic year. We tried it one time in April because it got too hot in June and people wanted to change it. We lost a lot of attendance because of the academics. Could not get away that kind of time in April. So June, I mean, it's Texas. It's going to be hot in June. It's just part of it.
At least y'all get a decent winter up here, whereas in South Texas, we only get 3 weeks
Yeah.
put together. So.
Yeah.
So the schedule for Howard Days is it has an unofficial start on Thursday, although that's probably become official now, and Thursday afternoon.
It's still unofficial.
But what happens on Thursday afternoon?
A lot of the hired guys get here early, and it works really well to have the house open for a couple of hours because these fellows come in not so much for a first-time tour because they've all been here before. It's just kind of a refresher. Oh, I'm back again. Let me absorb this again. So they're more of a networking type thing. Some have items to contribute. So it just works really well to open it up to the hired guys first and then open up to the public for the organized tours.
Those start on Friday and Saturday mornings at
Yes.
9 a.m. and run till 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's about right.
And what do you do on the tours of the house?
Diana, why don't you pick up? You can answer that. You've been giving tours.
We station a docent in each one of the rooms, and as a group comes through, we discuss the importance of that room and point out any objects that were original to the house and add information about the family as they lived here. So it's a very personal guided tour.
How long have you been a docent here?
14 years.
And do you stay in? Do you have your room set out, or do you just?
No, I actually assist Arlene with doing the total house tour, so I'm comfortable wherever I'm needed.
Okay. Is the house open for visitors outside of Howard Days?
By appointment only, absolutely.
Okay.
They can just contact us, and
Okay.
And we have months.
We hope that they will contact us in advance and arrange a tour. But at their convenience.
But we have months where we have maybe 30 or 40 visitors come through, and then we have other months where we might have 6.
Yeah.
So it fluctuates.
Okay.
Very flexible.
Diane, what has it meant to you to be working in the Howard House all these years and meeting all these people?
It's been an incredible adventure. I really feel privileged to have met so many people, not just from within Texas, but literally from all over the world. And as visitors, they tend to be very gracious, very friendly, very interested, and many times have shared their knowledge with me to help me build on my ability to handle tours.
And Arlene, how about you? What has it meant to you having to deal with all of us Howard people for all these years?
Pretty much the same thing. When we got this organized, we had no idea, absolutely no idea, what it would develop into. And now to say that from right here in little old Cross Plains, Texas, I know people, I've met people in probably 30 different countries. And you know, here comes Stahl from Norway, here comes Derek from Japan, here comes Patrice from France, Derek from Ireland. You know, they're just, and to say that we have met those people right here because of restoring this to the Robert E. Howard Museum, it's just, but I think one thing that also makes this one very unique is that, like Diana mentioned, the hands-on. A lot of museums that are dedicated to a famous person, you walk through and there's a sign on the door. You either stand there and read it or you push a button and listen to it from the hallway. But here it's walk in, hands-on, sit down, take pictures. You know, it's just, it's a very homey thing. And people who visit this museum are not people who drive by and say, oh, there's a museum, let's stop. People who come to this are Robert E. Howard readers. They know exactly what this is and who it's a tribute to. And they make plans from the other side of the world to come to this thing maybe in August. How often would you go across seas, across the ocean, to visit the home of somebody that you admired?
Would depend on cash and everything else.
But the beauty is that for people that are traveling great distances, they have the opportunity to meet with others at their caliber or maybe even greater. And again, sharing information and learning more about our Robert E. Howard.
Can you speak as to what having the Howard House Museum has meant to the Cross Plains over the last few years?
Financially, we probably cannot put any kind of figure on it. But when you figure how many hundreds and hundreds of people who have come through here as a result of this, either on a regular visit or during Howard Days, you know that the money that's turned over in this town has really been almost astronomical for a small town like this. So it's been a great boon to us economically. But it has also put Cross Plains out there. These people have helped put Cross Plains out there on a worldwide basis because they come here and they're impressed by not the museum only, but we always encourage them to eat somewhere here in town. Go see Woody's Car Museum if it's open. We've got a Veterans Memorial downtown that's really neat. The library's open most of the time they're here. If they've got children, we encourage them to go to the city park where they got a storybook walk, a neat playground for the kids. So Cross Plains, for a town of less than 1,000, has a lot to offer. So we are able to tell our visitors, hey, Cross Plains is more than the Robert Howard Museum. So take advantage of all of this so that then they go out and share the word. So this thing has been a real boon to Cross Plains. It really has. It's helped put us out there on not only the literary world, but the historical world. It's well worth all we put into it.
Does Project Pride accept people from outside of Cross Plains to pay membership fees or give donations to Project Pride to help in its work and helping out?
We get good donations from the people that come through. When they write in advance, what's it cost or anything, we say it's strictly donations and sales in the shop. And we get really good donations.
Often we do.
Sometimes really, really nice donations. And we just tell them it goes to the upkeep of the museum. And, you know, other things that Project Pride does in the community. And they're very supportive.
Do you have a website for Project Pride?
Not a website. We've got a Facebook page.
Facebook page.
We're kind of linked to the city web page. It's not a really super updated one. Actually, the best connection is a World of Robert E. Howard out of Norway. This stall has.
All right. So people can check Stoley's website at REH World.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else that y'all would like to say?
As a comment about what the museum means to the community, there are a number of people that volunteer as docents during Robert E. Howard Days and also come out and help us out at other times of the year. And there have been wonderful friendships that have been established. We have one woman that is a docent for both the Friday and Saturday tours all day. And she comes to us from Abilene, very committed. And we just have this special friendship. People want to come back. They want to help.
Yeah.
They want to be part of it.
Yeah, this Beverly she's talking about used to live here in town. And the dining room is hers. That's her space. All the time she lived here. 2 days out here in the dining room. Well, then they moved the other side of Abilene. Yep. I'll come back. I get the dining room. It's yours, Beverly. Most days, dining room is yours. And she does a great job. She's really committed. But like Diana said, we've got a lot of really neat people who volunteer to be docents out here. Some are kind of new, and they say, "Ooh, that's kind of fun. You know, can I do it again?" We have people who do tours that are not really all that active in Project Pride
Exactly.
the year round, which makes it really special too, because they see the value of it. They enjoy meeting these people from all over.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of unannounced, just, hey, we're 30 miles out. We want to see the museum. Are you there?
Yeah.
That museum. But,
And we do
nothing
our
quite
best
like that.
in that situation. We really do our best to try to get someone out here to meet with that person. It doesn't always work out when it's last minute like that, but often we make it happen.
Well, it's interestingly enough, the one that happened like that on Sunday, right after lunch on Sunday. Well, we're about 40 miles out. We should be there, you know. Oh my goodness. Well, it turns out that she was born in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, right there. And she volunteered, yeah, she could translate our brochure into Vietnamese for us. So, well, okay, that was worth it.
Yeah.
Come out to get a Vietnamese translation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So you just never know. It's like every day's a new adventure out here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's probably all the questions I have for y'all, unless there's something y'all want to ask or anything else.
Not that.
Well, you know, going back to the involvement in the community, for years, Arlene would host the 11th graders here at the museum,
Right.
talk to them about Robert E. Howard, generally have them do a small amount of reading, and just really get to know what a gem we have here in the community. And the individuals at the school level that were really interested in that moved away, and we've kind of lost that feeling, and Arlene's been trying to reignite it, and hopefully she will, because the kids need to really have a good understanding of what we have here and why we need to protect it.
Had somebody that went to the very same school that they're going to. Like I met a young fellow the other day down at the Hunter's Feed. We stood out there and talked quite a while. And I don't know, this all came up somehow or another. And he's into a building business, so he had a lot of questions like this. And I was explaining some of the problems we had, and he was familiar with it. Well, he'd grown up here, but I've never been in that museum out there. I've never been out there. I said, well, Justin, I can remedy that right away. But here, yeah, he grew up here.
Yeah.
I've never been out here. Didn't know anything about it. I don't know how you counteract that? I don't know.
No, no. Most people generally don't think about going to museums while they're young. So,
Right.
no.
And a lot of people don't realize that sometimes they've got something in the community that's so routine and just normal to them. They know about it and they go by it every day and don't give it a second thought. But to somebody out beyond, it's very, very special,
Yeah.
very unique. And to us, it's like, oh, well, it's just that thing down in the corner, you know. It's but to somebody else, it's very special, very unique, very different.
Mm-hmm.
And probably some people in town are a little bit that way.
And it could be well, yeah, I'd like to go through it, but I'm busy. I'll do it one day. And that one day just never happens.
And once in a great while, we'll have just an announced open house. Come on out to our local people. Come on out.
And one thing I just thought of is that the high school marching band was going to do a halftime show on Robert E. Howard and Conan
Yeah.
the Barbarian. How did that go?
Well, they're going to state this coming Tuesday, the 11th, going to state competition.
Oh, wonderful.
I think they'll probably do really, really well. But their performance, they've got, I think, 8 of the big old white pillars.
Yeah.
They're sort of symbolic of some of his stories. And I should have brought that shirt out. It's really cool. It's got a picture of Conan on the front and his typical pose. But over here, he's holding a saxophone. Have you seen the shirt?
No, I haven't.
He's holding a saxophone over here. And his belt down here is a Cross Plains buffalo design on the belt. And then just, I don't know, some other things around it. It's not the heads. It's not one of those that has all the skeleton heads. They didn't go that way. But it has Cross Plains, home of Conan the Barbarian. I think it's across the top of their shirt. And the music is, what Paul's describing, the music is kind of the music from some of the movies, but they start off with Tchaikovsky's Fifth or something is what they start with. But they're very, very talented.
Wonderful.
Very good. Very balanced. They'll do well at state.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Of course, that's just their traveling church. They don't march with that.
Oh.
But their whole performance is a tribute to Cross Plains, as a thank you for supporting us. Right.
Okay.
Hopefully they get enough donations to pay for that charter bus.
Yeah, hopefully so.
We did our part.
Yes, we did.
Project Pride likes to donate to those kinds of things and help those kinds of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it then. So.
Mm.